All rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. All right, we've got a packed house. Thank you, everyone, for attending, especially on short notice. This is a fluid situation that came together real quickly for us on Friday. I believe Chief found out at the end of day on Friday. So for us, this was the quickest we could call a special meeting. So everyone in attendance, thank you very much. As you know, why we called the meeting in regards to fire and EMS coverage in Hiram Village and Township was terminated effectively last night at 11:59 p.m. We had staff at midnight ready to rock and roll to handle anything from out of that area. You know, the chief and I worked on that ahead of time. You know, for us, we love our neighbors. You know, we want to be good neighbors. But this type of scenario, you know, requesting that or assuming that we're going to cover an additional 25 square miles and 3,400 residents or so, not to mention how many students might be living at Hiram College right now, so, you know, potentially more than that. You know, for us, if it was a short-term thing with a defined, you know, finish line in sight, we might be able to figure out a way to swing it, but we were on very strict budget as well, much like your communities. So for us to, without any notice, I mean, we'd even get one business day notice, you know, for us, it's a bridge too far to take on that kind of workload without a definitive agreement in place. So we would need a formal agreement in place before we took on that level of commitment, you know, to be fair to not only our staff, but also our residents. So that's why we called it. Chief, if you want to go over some of the framework of that agreement or some of the details, that's up to you, where we can.
So we have no formal agreement in place. What we have done in the short term regarding staffing, basically we'll have 4 personnel on around the clock. We're trying to supplement our best with part-time personnel, but we will have 4 EMS providers around the clock with the hopes that we can cover any additional calls that may come in.
What kind of additional cost is that going to be?
Roughly for a 7-day, for a week basis, for about $5 grand, $5 to $6 grand. So that's just personnel cost. That does not count any type of increased workers' comp, wear and tear on vehicles, et cetera, et cetera. Again, not having a definitive timeline, it's hard to say, is it going to be a 1-day, 2-day, 3, or we're looking at 3 years? We don't know. So, you know, in the interim, we decide on this temporary fix, and then hopes that we will get compensated from either, you know, Hiram Village, Hiram Township, Hiram College, however it may be. Because obviously we don't want to put the burden on the taxpayers of our EMS district.
So, as Chief said, this is it'd be a proposal, so there's no agreement in place currently, you know, outside of mutual aid. So, but that's real unspoken. But no formal agreement in place. This would simply be a proposal. It would account for our increased staffing around the clock. It would account for wear and tear on our squads and any other expenses that we incur on a daily basis for, you know, offering the services. As Chief noted, you know, we'd be looking at, you know, on a daily basis setting a rate. We'd be looking at an official acceptance date of no later than the 9th, which is a week from today. You know, if for any reason the village and the township decided to not accept the proposal or go a different route or potentially counter the proposal, you know, things were not able to be, you know, worked out financially, then, you know, we would potentially bill out at our mutual aid rate that we have with the Village of Wyndham currently, which is $550 per call, but we're not at that, you know, we're not there yet, so. Daily rate is, you know, if you're wondering, Chief kind of alluded to it, but, you know, daily rate, we're looking at right in that $1,200 range, you know, all in. So, you know, if you're looking at a definitive firm number, that's where we landed. So that would be what would be proposed and then, you know, sent across town to the mayor of the village.
Yeah, other terms we would look at would be like a 60-day out clause, because right now in March, we've already scheduled personnel up through the end of April. So that way we have a 60-day notice to plan efficiently, you know, in that way we're not necessarily just, you know, shorting our personnel. We don't wanna do that.
Do we have enough personnel to take on the extra hours?
In the interim, I would say yes. Long term, you know, as we know, sometimes summertime is a little bit difficult to staff. We would look to backfill those as best as we could.
Yeah, this would definitely be something for us. It would be more along the lines of a short-term commitment. You know, it's not, we don't have the staffing capacity now to do anything long-term to provide for that level of coverage. You know, we've heard rumblings and maybe additional support from Manaway, but we can't necessarily guarantee. So, you know, we have to assume that we're gonna have to at least be responsible for the whole, you know, 25 square mile coverage area and, you know, 3,400 plus residents. So we do have to staff appropriately. So, you know, when we're staffing ahead of time, that could potentially put us in a precarious position, and that's why we have a timeline on the agreement. You know, if they choose to accept a proposal, that's where there's a timeline in place.
What is the timeline?
A week from today.
So when, is there an end date?
No end date in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, the timeline, which would be the 9th, a week from today would be the deadline for the mayor to agree to the proposal that we're gonna present. We'll have Chief send it over after we finish up this evening.
Should we make an end date so that it gets renegotiated? Like, because at that point, if you leave it open-ended, then you're just gonna be,
Well, if we had that 60-day out clause, we would have that idea in mind.
okay.
Today we've got 2 squads out. The idea is to get all 3 squads out if need be.
No, we'd staff 4 personnel, which would give us our 2 squads out the door.
Right.
And then with those 2 squad calls we had today, we had backfill personnel who came in, and we had another medic crew available for that 3rd squad.
Okay, but if they agree to this agreement, you're gonna staff just 4 all the time?
We'd have 4 spots available around the clock.
Yeah, we've always been very proactive in community, and that's, you know, a testament to why we can even have this conversation this quickly. I mean, we literally, I found out by the chief, and the chief found out at end of the day on Friday. Was that, yeah, so, end of the day on Friday, we didn't even have, as I said, 1 business day notice, and they were anticipating coverage from our folks at midnight on Sunday. So, you know, for us to even be here sitting at the table and have this meeting right now, we had to really scramble, but because we're so proactive as opposed to reactive, we're able to do that. So it's a testament to Chief and his team and the captains, so, yeah, it's.
No, it's also our personnel who stepped up, so.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I saw a hand raised over here first, so.
Yeah, well,
Sure,
I'm
I will give you the
always
benefit of the doubt,
quick.
yes.
Thank you. Just a couple questions, the contractor sending them. Okay. Now, you're gonna put in that, this is not non-mutual aid type contract, where it is a contract for EMS service, for your, just for the EMS service for the, Hiram Township. Because I think if, she'll come back, I'm figuring that she may come back and say, this is mutual aid, which it is not, because they took their service out.
Correct, and by definition of mutual aid, if I may, mutual, you can reciprocate. By
Yes.
not having any services available, we cannot reciprocate receiving any mutual aid.
That's
We're
correct.
only be giving, so therefore
Right.
it's it would
It's
not
all
be
one
considered
side.
classified as mutual aid because it's simply not.
Right, and the money that you're requesting comes from Hiram Township themselves, not the people, correct? I mean, because they're already paying, like, a citizen here in Garrettsville, Nelson Freedom, they're paying through their taxes.
So this would be an agreement that would be drafted between Community EMS District and Hiram Village.
Okay.
Since Hiram Township and Hiram College is under agreement with Hiram Village for services.
Yeah,
That's all for right now.
yeah, once their services were suspended Sunday evening, that goes well outside of the bounds of mutual aid. You know, now you're anticipating we're gonna cover the whole area for you. That's a completely different scenario than, you know, being a good neighbor, and, which we wanna be, but not at the expense of our residents.
Mr. Kaiser?
What? Has anyone reached out to Matt Rosa, Manaway, the chief?
Obviously, Chief Rosa is aware of the situation.
But Hiram has talked to us, they have not talked to Manaway. Is that correct?
Unilaterally, the mayor has reached out to us I don't know about any other communications she might have had regarding Manaway.
They're the neighbor to the west. They might be.
Correct.
And it also, you know,
They always cover the west side of it. To the EMS.
Yeah, and that's a scenario for us where we have to allot for the coverage, because with no communication to us, you know, we have to anticipate that we're available for that whole area. That whole roughly 25 square miles, roughly 3,500 residents all in. So we have to staff for that in advance, you know, so those shifts are accounted for in advance. So we, you know, with very limited communication, if any, we can't just assume that, you know, Manaway's gonna pick up, maybe the western portion and split it, you know, from a dispatch standpoint, so.
Yeah, and with the sheriff office doing our dispatching, in which they're receiving the initial 911 call, they would know who's available, who's not. They do not dispatch currently for a Manaway fire, so it'd be one of those things like, are they in station, are they not? Cut
they
down.
do
on that.
staff 24/7 over there, don't they?
Manaway fire?
Manaway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. If the need arises, we would utilize them for beach
Mhm.
ourselves.
Sure.
Chairman Durthick?
Okay, so it's March, and you don't get your tax payment until April. The first question is, how are your finances for this month to get your employees paid? And the second question is, are you going to back bill starting when you guys first put on your extra shift? Which would be, I imagine, have you put it on already?
So currently, we are 16 hours or 20 hours into this, roughly.
So my question is, are you gonna back pay her or back bill her for this?
Last night, the communication I had with her is we put a burden onto our taxpayers, our residents, and we'd request compensation for those.
Is that, and then, because it is so tight financially around here, are you gonna ask for something up front
As a
to pay
deposit?
To pay your employees?
As a deposit, yes. In good faith, correct.
Yeah, I'm just curious, it's
Thank
gonna
you for-
be in writing
Yes,
to her, okay.
thank you.
I commend the group for being the first ones to take it on. I agree with Jeff Kaiser, and I think you need to also be talking to Manaway. I think you also ought to have that conversation so that we're not burdening the whole community with all of it.
You know, I certainly feel bad for the people in the village, Hiram Village and Hiram Township. It's terrible, the situation they're in right now.
Yep,
It's not our emergency.
right.
It's theirs. We didn't put all that together, you know? And our taxpayers shouldn't pay a dime for helping out, although we should help them out whenever we can, but we gotta be reimbursed for that.
Yeah, Jeff, don't worry, they won't.
I don't know how
They
she's
won't.
doing.
And to Jeff Durthick, I agree with reaching out, but that's not our responsibility. You know, we didn't cause the issue, but we will try our best to resolve it. If they wanted to reach out for their emergency services and discuss it with their neighbors to the west, that's up to them. And then if they report it back to us, that would be great, so we would know, so maybe we could adjust staffing wise, but that's not our responsibility to clean up another town's, you know, whatever business has transpired over there. That's none of our business. We only care about the residents of the community. And, you know, as first responders, you know, we only care about serving the public. You know, we're the guardian angels out there for the general public, and that's all we're concerned about. We can't concern ourselves in the affairs of other communities.
I understand that, but it's still the burden on this whole community and on the employees here.
It will definitely be a burden on the employees here, no doubt about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's a big ask for us, and that's, as I said, we're trying our best to be great neighbors with no notice, you know, so this was thrown on our lap, and, you know, we're making the most of it, and that's a credit to our team. You know, it allows us to do that. You know, that's why we plan ahead, that's why we forecast, you know, that's why we anticipate things like this, so it's not a surprise. But at the end of the day, you know, it's not up to us to reach out on their behalf to Manaway. You know, that would be up to them, whatever they decide, their leadership. And
Chris, are you going to their meeting on Thursday night?
Yes.
In case they had questions.
If they directed at me, if I'm allowed to speak, absolutely.
It sounds to me like nobody's allowed to speak.
Really?
Yeah.
It just says you're allowed to observe.
And what time is that?
So you'll probably get arrested if you do speak, so.
I've heard that.
Yeah, that one's.
Will there be police there?
There ain't gonna be enough, I can tell you that.
And what time is the meeting on Thursday?
7 o'clock.
7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, no,
It's
no, no, 6:30.
6:30.
6:30.
6:30.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's at 6:30.
If it's any consolation, everybody's allowed to speak here. We encourage it.
Yes.
We encourage input from the
Definitely.
public, because that's what it's all about. We serve on your behalf, so you, for lack of a better term, are our bosses, so we serve on your behalf. So we've never silenced a voice in this room. So everybody here, we'll stay here till midnight if we have to. Everybody can say their piece, absolutely.
In the event that the mayor does agree to a term, am I authorized to sign off on that until a meeting, or how do you want to work that? Do we accept that public meeting, right? Or
Yeah, we're only sending a proposal at this point, it's just,
Yep.
it's a framework of a proposal, and then, however they decide to move forward is really on them.
Okay.
Should probably ask you how much deposit to put down or upfront. Did we agree on an amount?
No, I haven't. All of it?
I think you should ask for at least 30 days, if not more. That's just me. And I can only speak on behalf of the township as one of the trustees, that the township is willing to bear their responsibility for the fees if the village doesn't, because you can't count on the village for anything, and they've proven that time and again. So going forward, I mean, if the township will be responsible for their share until we get this resolved, however it gets resolved. I think it's, from where I'm sitting, I believe it's gonna get worse before it gets better, so let's take it for what it's worth. I'm just one person.
Any other public comments? We have quite a few in attendance.
So you're gonna send her a proposal with the mindset that she's going to sign it and back pay you, because you're already providing a service that she hasn't signed for, if that makes sense to you. Just so everybody knows, there could be loss, financial loss, if she decides to fight it and not pay it.
Correct, and, in a couple of emails I did receive where she noted they are willing to compensate for her services. To what level, that was not disclosed.
Right.
We have yet to go there yet for any calls, is that correct?
Correct.
Chris, more towards you. I know they have EMTs and paramedics up there too, and they're not allowed to run the squad during this interim. If you need something to fill in, maybe you can see if they're qualified to help run with some of your people. That,
There are some who are on that roster who are already employed here, so.
okay.
But they're ready to pick up some extra shifts, huh? That sucks, not having a paycheck coming in.
Yeah, what was our notice on that? Similar to ours, just a notice on,
Yeah, basically, notice we received, the employees that hire received a very similar timeframe.
wow. All right. Yes, go ahead.
You knew I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to your attorney?
The village solicitor? No, I have not, no.
No,
No.
the Community EMS's attorney.
I
To
have
let-
not, no, I
to
don't
let
have
her
the chief
know
or
what's
fiscal
going on.
officer.
No, we will touch base with her with everything.
Thank you.
Have you got notice that she's gonna be retiring?
She hasn't said anything to me. I haven't
I
heard
just heard
anything
that
from
from
her.
Southington Township.
Who is it?
Jerry,
Jerry?
Petite,
Petite.
Sherry Petite.
she's not in Ohio.
She's not in Ohio?
No, she's in Pennsylvania. So I don't know how true that is, but
I just
we
have
may
to
not
reach
have
out
a
to her.
lawyer.
It's one of those things, if you don't have, I'm sure she would have sent something. I know she didn't send something to me when I was on the board, but I'm sure she would have sent something to Jennifer.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, you'd make me feel better if you'd contact her and let her know the situation you're in, and to look at your contract that you guys have drawn up.
Sure.
Well, so I'm Ed Freda Sweeney, I'm from Hiram Village, I serve on the village council. And the mayor and the council president were invited tonight, but they weren't able to make it because they're conducting some interviews to hopefully get fire and EMS back up and running as quickly as we can. But I just wanted to, I don't have any inside information, or I was not privy to some of these decisions. So I heard some of this stuff the same time you guys did. But I will say that I appreciate how quickly you guys have moved. I appreciate all of you taking the time to come tonight, and also appreciate the support that you guys have offered in the past and are doing tonight. So I just wanted to say thank you.
So you had no idea this was gonna go down?
I was certainly surprised to hear Friday afternoon that fire and EMS are good. We're being suspended. Yes.
I met with her Friday morning, and she never said a word about it.
You're
And
kidding.
Then I got an email Friday night, this was going on, so.
It's crazy.
So you wanna vote on this, what he's going to send tonight?
Give chief the authority to make the proposal?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the framework?
Yeah.
At least we know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna send that over after we adjourn this evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll draft something and we'll,
Okay, I appreciate it.
absolutely.
Do you need a motion?
Is it an official motion in a minute?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Shirley,
Yes.
Anna
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
If I may, also, we'll add a comment that this is not officially joining the EMS district, because obviously they have to pass a resolution, we have to accept it at those terms, depending how the village and the township would feel also. So this is not to join our district, it's more just as a agreement to provide services.
Correct.
One thing we also would have to address, if they accept the $1,200 daily rate, we would treat those residents as our own residents in soft bill. So we need to make also a motion to encompass that also.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Shirley,
Yes.
Anna
Yes.
Rich,
Yes. Yeah, Chief, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, the option to join the district is not currently on the table or be discussed. This is simply a proposal to provide services for the near term. So, yeah, that option is not on the table at this point.
I heard you said she's interviewing tonight? Is someone?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe by Thursday night at your council, you may be hiring a new
I just know.
fire chief and,
I know that we're interested in getting services back up and running as quickly as possible.
Any further public comments?
I would just prefer that you seek legal counsel to make sure it was all right. Can't stress that enough. Because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of lawyers and attorneys involved.
If she doesn't agree to this contract, to say, then you would bill her $1,200 every time there's a run. You know, say that's our rate, that has to be our rate. And I don't think that people will like it to hear that, you know, it's gonna cost that much. But it's not, like you said, our problem, it's their problem.
It's their emergency.
We'll cross that bridge on Thursday, next meeting.
I hope you're looking at Facebook.
Yeah, we may get clarity on Thursday, but that's something that we couldn't wait for, and that's not the way that we do business. You know, we do things proactively, so that's not, so we couldn't afford, the district couldn't afford to wait until
No.
there's some type of,
Yeah.
yeah, so this was the soonest we could call the special meeting, so that's why we're here this evening, so. I thought I saw a hand go up. Was that Jeff again?
No, no, I'm good. I commend you for what you're doing, for being proactive. You're right on it, for what it's worth.
All right, public comments, we'll go ahead and close them out then. Just a few parting words, and we'll get everyone home to their families. I know it's getting a little bit late. To our fellow first responders in Hiram, we stand with you, we support you, we appreciate you. To the residents of the village of Hiram and Hiram Township, the level of service you will be getting from Community EMS is of the highest quality. Our response times are some of the best in the state. Our team has well over 100 years of combined experience, so rest assured that the level of care and response will be at the highest, utmost level. To our team here, thank you very much, Chief, Captain Sponigal, the rest of the captains, all of our staff, all the men and women of Community EMS. Your flexibility, professionalism, and just love of the job allows us to even be able to bridge this gap right now with our neighbors. So thank you all, greatly, greatly appreciate it on behalf of the board. I've said it before, you're the guardian angels for our residents, and we greatly appreciate you. So, and last but not least, I would be remiss if I did not thank our residents of our member communities, Garrettsville, Freedom, and Nelson. Rest assured that this will not impact any response times or the quality of care. We're going to be putting additional staffing on to help our neighbors out, but this will not impact our residents whatsoever. You'll still receive the highest level of care. You'll still receive incredible response times. And also, do not worry. Every single penny of this will be paid by our neighbors to the west. So the residents of our contributing communities will not pay for a penny of this. So rest assured, on our watch, there will be no free rides. So, I didn't know if our fellow trustees had any other words, or fiscal officer, any parting words? All right, well, once again, everyone, thank you very much, and we're entertaining a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
727 Charlene,
Yes.
Anime.
Yes.
Rich.
Yes.
No, I want to spend time with them. I never get to see them.
How did basketball season go?
Next week, morning.
Yeah.
I don't have any
going
on,
so it's
We didn't expect to have you.
Oh, good to see you.
Good, how you doing?
Jeff Kaiser?
I thought you coached.
Steve, thank you.
Steve. Here's your first name. Nice to meet you.
All right, take care.